Hello and welcome to It Doesn't Work That Way with me, Kalisha Zachery.
And me, Kachelle Zachery.
All right, today we have an incredibly special guest in the building here at MZ Studios. He's an NBA legend of skill, the godfather of the crossover.
I would agree.
A teacher of the game.
We're all in school.
And now an author. Former Dallas Mavericks player development coach.
Let's just pause on that because you said former.
Yeah, it's sad, but we've mourned, and now we have to celebrate.
Okay.
The new Orlando Magic assistant coach.
All right.
And brand new author of the Word of God, the one and only God Shammgod is in the building.
I'm so excited.
Yes, welcome, Sham.
Thank y'all for having me.
Yes.
You know, it's an honor to be here, with y'all, and and just talk and chop it up, as family do.
Yes.
I consider y'all family, so I'm just happy to be here.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
On It Doesn't Work That Way.
That's right. That's right. Yes. Thank you so
Because
very
life
much.
has taught us.
Hey, friend, it doesn't work that way.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. I'm so happy that you're here.
I am.
Uplifting Black Independent podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Kachelle, kick us off.
Well, I'm just super geeked, and I woke up this morning feeling very purposeful, which I do pretty much every morning. But this morning I felt extra purposeful. And I think that was because of just how alignment works. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you got to lean into it, and sometimes you try to make stuff happen.
Yeah.
And you got to let stuff happen.
Just lean into it.
Yeah.
Lean into
And
it.
so I'm super excited.
So congratulations on the new book.
Thank you.
I'm 4 chapters deep. It's good. It's a great read. I promise you. If you think it's just about basketball, don't fool yourself. Get that book. It's really, really good. I giggled. I saw it. I'm a filmmaker, so I could see everything. I was like, this is just a good book. But I feel like the Word of God is making waves in my life personally, and I mean that for sure, because me and Kachelle, we're so on purpose on everything that we do. And it's just it's an inspiration to kind of read your journey so far. So I think that's beautiful. But how does it feel to share your story in book form?
For me, it's hard because I'm a very private person. So for me to put a book out is like something I probably thought I would never do in my life. So I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful for people that just want to listen to it. So you can't ever underestimate that, right?
Yeah.
Because, I know there's a lot of people that want to write a book, but it's, if people want to read it or listen to.
Facts.
So I'm excited with the feedback from people all over the country and all over the place about the book, and I made it for it to be an easy read and just to be about life. I know, everybody look at it because it's me about basketball.
Yeah.
But for me, basketball and life is the same thing. So therefore, for me, it was kind of like not easy to write the book, but it was better than I thought because, it touched on a lot of things that I didn't think about in such a long time.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm a very private person. I like to keep things in my life that I care about to me.
Amen.
Because I feel like we live in a world where everybody got everything of everybody.
My goodness.
So the good thing is about the book is, I'll put it out and just listening to feedback, I'll wait till later to probably read over it again. I can't do it in the beginning because what happens is then I'll be like, man, should I said that, or should I did this, or should I did that? Because there's so much other things I could have put in the book and talk about in the book. So, but I think it came out how it's supposed to came out.
Yeah.
I agree.
I feel like it's a coaching book without saying I'm about to coach you.
Oh, I like that.
That's why when they said teacher of the game, I was like, yeah, because I feel like y'all go get that book.
Yeah.
And write me about it. Because, I mean, like, Amazon will have it delivered next day. Because I got mine next day.
Which I love.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So I feel like it's teaching. So I don't want to give it away. But there was some moments in there that for me, I'm a learner where I have to read it, and then if I really want to retain it, I have to write it down, like with a physical pen and paper. Me texting in my notes to it is not how I do it. It's not how I learn. But there were so many quotes, and I got a piece of paper, and I was like, I gotta go write this down, because it's just good good words for your soul, your mind, your will, and your emotions. You know what I mean? And it transcended basketball. Now, I am a huge, and people who, our audience that listen to this show, they know we will bust out a basketball reference at any moment. Okay, because you're looking at the 96 Bulls. Okay. Because we'll tell it, okay?
Yes, and
I'm okay with being Scotty.
And I'm okay with being Michael.
Right.
Exactly.
It wouldn't be, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But I feel, and I thought, okay, this is going to be about basketball, but there's so many special moments that I can relate to outside of basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more about just growing up in Harlem and just growing up in New York. You know, basketball is just a part of it because I play basketball and I coach and stuff like that, but the main thing about the book is about just growing up in the era that I grew up in and growing up in Harlem, and just along the journey, just meeting so many amazing people that just happen to be amazing to the world too. So it's not like they're just amazing to me. And, you know, I was fortunate enough to cross paths with some amazing people that at the time they didn't know that they were going to be amazing.
Wow.
So therefore, growing up, it was just such pure energy. And then that pure energy just carried over the next 30 years till we still have those friendships.
Wow.
And I think that's one of the most important part of it is that, you know, when you grow up, so many people break up friendships because of egos and because of everything else. And I just happen to be fortunate to have friends that we didn't have that problem.
Yeah.
You know, to this day, I don't know if it's because most of them is in different lanes, and you know, some rap and some do other things. But I just think it just because we grew up in Harlem and we grew up so competitive and so much. Harlem is just a rich place, like far as culture and far as the way I view us as people. And I'm just so blessed that I was coming up in New York when I came up in New York. Because when I came up in New York, at that time, New York was like #1 in everything. Right? So there was like #1 in fashion, #1 in basketball, #1 in money, #1 in everything, you know. And other states, of course, at this time right now, you know, caught up and things like that. But when I was in New York was like the place to be, and Harlem was like the Mecca, you know, like you grow up, you're 10 blocks from the Apollo where every black entertainer is performed that was great.
Yeah.
You know, so you didn't have all these big arenas like guys do now and stuff like that. Apollo was like the epitome of the place you wanted to perform. So just seeing that every day, and whether it was people in the streets, whether it was people in the corporate world, you just had every type of energy.
I love that. And that, what a perfect segue to our topic.
Yeah, go for it.
So let me ask let me ask you, Sham. In a world of so many choices, because we have so many, being intentional is the easiest thing one can do.
It is, but it doesn't work that way.
Well,
you know, it doesn't work that way. You know, the thing that you think is the most simple thing in life, most of the time is the hardest thing. Yeah. Right? Because I'm quite sure people, you know, especially when you get a certain age and you're an adult, you kind of know what's good for you. But for some reason, you fight to go the other way all the time.
Yeah.
And then sometimes God just has to sit you down and push you to the direction he wants you to go in.
Yes.
And, you know, I've been a person that been through that in my life where you want to do the right thing so much that you don't even understand sometimes doing the right thing so much and pushing forward so much can actually be the thing that's not in the destiny for you. And I think the hardest part for people in life is to know what's their purpose and what mistakes to make and not make. You know? So
yeah. Anyone that knows me knows that I have these moments and they hit me like at random times. And I'll be like, you know what? Now I know.
Here it come.
I know nothing. I have these moments where it just hit me where I'll be like, I really thought I knew. And life will just teach me that I know absolutely nothing. So I lean into what you say about when God has to sit you down so that you can really see yourself. But from a career perspective, Sham, from legendary playground handles to coaching at the highest level, I do believe that all of that is built on intention. And when you were young, what intention drove you to practice and master something as specific as the crossover, like that specific?
Just for me, like when I first ever fell in love with basketball, I seen great ball handlers, you know. Like, you know, I tell a story of the time, like my friend Mace, he took me to this park called Record Park. It was like the famous park for street ball. And, you know, it just happened to be the All-Star game. So, of course, I go there, it's like all the best players playing at one time. So, you know, when you see that type of atmosphere, you know, for me, I felt it was just destined for me to be there because we could have went any day besides the All-Star game, but it was the day, it was like all the best players from the tournament there. So everybody's doing tricks, everybody's dribbling, everybody's doing all these things. And I remember when I first went to play basketball, I used to just grab the ball and just run. And everybody's like, man, you got to dribble the ball, you got to dribble the ball. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm going to the basket, you know? And it was more like I was playing football on a basketball court. So because I didn't know what dribbling was and people kept saying it, then I just became obsessed with that part of the game. Like I was like, okay, I got to master this. And then when I got in elementary school, like in middle school, you know, I met a famous coach named Tiny Archibald that I didn't know was a famous coach. And he was the first person to tell me, like, man, if you master dribbling, you'll be worth something to a team, any team. So then I just took that because, you know, growing up, even now, like I have kind of like an obsessed personality, right? So if I like something, then I'm like in it fully. And basketball is just one of those things for me. You know, I'm just blessed that I really don't have other vices, you know, because I have the ability to be able to use those vices if I have, but I just wasn't blessed with those other vices. So my vices has always been a session in love with basketball. So no matter what it took or no matter what I had to do when it came to basketball, it was like always fun to me. It was like second nature to me. So, you know, dribbling was the one thing that was like my obsession. And I just, you know, to the point where I got where, like I said in the book, like I thought I could like really shake my own shadow at one point. So it's like, you know, that was just my love and my obsession of something.
Can I tell you what I'm sorry, Kalisha. No, can I tell you what I appreciate about you, Sham? Because I was listening to interviews preparing for our interview. And they were talking about like who are dribblers that you admire. And I love when people can bring something to me from a perspective where I got to do a deep dive and do a research. And you was talking about Marquise Haynes.
Yeah, Marcus Haynes.
Yes, from the Harlem Globetrotters. That was from Sand Springs, Oklahoma. I'm
what?
like, that's right.
Shout out Oklahoma. Yes.
Yes. And so you took me on a journey and I was like, the Harlem Globetrotters, most would consider that play basketball. You know, form of it. It's entertainment, but not so much competitive. Yeah. But the fact that you mentioned him, it took me on a journey. And I got to learn about something I didn't know. So I appreciate people that can bring new perspectives and light to me. And I was like, yes. And then when I found out that, you know, he's from Oklahoma, that kind of geeked me up even more. And so it's amazing where one draws inspiration from.
You want to do his story? You want to go ahead and make
I might have to, huh?
I think for me, and this is why you guys got to go get the book, but the way you describe Rucker Park, I wasn't there. But when I was reading, I was like, man, we move culture from the person with the bullhorn running up and down the court. I was like, I want to see that, you know, or go on and find, if anybody had any videos at that point to see what that looks like. And I think that piece of, you know, how it played into that moment played into like, okay, I'm going to go do basketball now. And okay, now I'm going to play, but who knew that your coach in school was an NBA legend?
Yeah, because like you said, you know, when you hear NBA, people always think like you're rich and stuff like that. So even like when he spoke to me, that was the biggest thing for me, because I'm like, who are you to tell me anything? Like, you know, like you're the gym teacher, you know, because, you know, when you're young, that's how you perceive things.
Yep.
And when you're growing up, it's certain jobs that you hear about that you perceive in the negative way, which it shouldn't be, you know. And so he was the gym teacher, and I'm just like, oh, he's nobody, you know. And then when I started studying basketball and watch film, he was on there. And even then, when I saw him on there, I thought it was his son. I didn't think it was him.
Yeah.
You know, and I asked him, like, man, did your son play in the NBA? He's like, what are you talking about? That's me. And I was like, what? I was like, what do you do? First, I didn't even say anything about basketball. I was just like, what are you working here for?
Because that's what we would do.
Yes. You know, because that's the ignorance that we come up in sometimes. So I was just like, man, what are you doing here? Like it was a problem for him to be there. It's like the craziest thing now when I'm older. But like I said, the thing about Rucker Park was it was just like an amusement park of entertainment that I've never seen in my life, right? So at this point, you know, I'm coming from a family that haven't never talked about basketball. You know, my father used to train boxers, and he was a 5%er, so it was just all about reading and stuff like that. And then I lived in Brooklyn, so it was all about getting in trouble, fighting. You know, the most I used to watch on TV is like, this is going to make me sound old, but...
It's okay.
I used to get up every morning on Sundays, and you watch this movie, this series called Kung Fu, and you see a man walking the desert, and he was doing all these, like, every time he ran into a problem, he'd do karate or whatever. So I was like big into like wrestling and fighting because my pops was training boxers. So in 9 times I moved to Harlem, that I saw like black people like in their essence. You know, because in Brooklyn it's just more about like robbing, stealing, stuff like that. It's not that way no more in Brooklyn, but that's how it was growing up. And then when I moved to Harlem, it was just all about like people hustling and making money and like playing basketball or wearing jewelry, fancy cars and stuff like that. So it was like, man, when I first moved to Harlem, I like stuck out like a sore thumb because I was just like, man, these kids are like so advanced, but they're my age. And I'm like, man.
Wow.
So I just so happened to move in an area where it was like rich with everything, right? So even like I said in my book, like, you know, that's why I'm so big on like Marvel movies. Like when I watch Marvel movies, because like where I grew up at, all those people was like superheroes and didn't even know they were superheroes, right?
Wow.
So, and then you look 30 years later, they're celebrated like superheroes, whether it's from films, whether it's from movies, whether you talk about kids like Rich Porter, stuff like that. You know, these kids passed away at 20 years old, 25 years old. And you got people at 40 years old, 50 years old making movies about them. So you got to understand, like, those are like amazing impact. You're talking about somebody that's been on the earth 20 years and you got 60, 50-year-old men like talking about how they wanted to be him all these years later. So it's like, you know, it's like one of those legacies when you see like Tupac or Biggie. It's like, it was so short, but like their impact led to all the stuff that's going on now. That's just like such an amazing journey, even though it was short.
I agree. There is a quote you put in the book. You said it's about imaging where you want to go and creating that future in your mind and then willing that shit into existence. It's not about basketball. It's about life.
Yeah, it's not. But it is. It really is. It's like, you know, for me, basketball is just like the tool.
Yeah.
You know, so I always wanted to pride myself on not letting my talent overshine who I am as a person. So it's like, I've always believed like you have to believe it to achieve it, to achieve anything. I know it sounds like a cliche and people think it's a cliche.
It doesn't.
But I'm one of those people that really, 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 really believes that, right? I'm one of the people that really believe what's for you is for you. And as long as you stand on it good, bad, or indifference, you know, because, you know, you can have the greatest intentions and things could go wrong.
Yeah, that's real.
You know, and in the moment, a lot of people don't put so much in the intentions, they put so much in the actions.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
so I know it's hard for people to deal with that, right? But certain things, and for me, I believe certain things in life, like we all have a map of what we want life to look like.
Yes.
And if it don't go that way, then we have like a problem. But we have a problem in a negative way, right? Instead of embracing that and then figuring out, okay, what is the purpose? What is the drive, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, especially in our culture, we have a problem with like figuring out how to embrace the pain, if we want to say, right? So when I went to the NBA, you know, and it was 2 years, and everybody was putting their pain on me, like when it didn't work out, right? And they was like, man, and I used to always tell people, I used to be like, like they ask me questions, and I'd be like, nah, I'm all right. But I was like, all right, I'm all right. This ain't like, man, yeah, well, do I want it to be more or want it to be this? Absolutely. But I'm like, I'm kind of all right because like I'm a person that I just think every emotion in life or every feeling in life is valid. Right? So you can't have good without bad. You can't have morning without night, stuff like that. And I just believe like God made everything in pairs, right? So he made feelings in pairs too, right? So everything don't come from a negative place.
I agree.
You know how when people say, this person is the devil's doing this, and I'm like, nah, sometimes God is just pushing you in the way where you need to go, right? But we never hold on long enough to embrace it because the thing that you think is the worst thing in the moment, 5 years from now could be the best thing that ever happened to you.
Yeah.
So you got to just sit back and just wait and let it play out and not be, you know, basically what I'm saying, you just got to have emotional intelligence.
Yes, sir. But
can I say something, Kalisha?
Go ahead, go for it.
Because it's bubbling
I know,
up on the
I
inside
see
of me.
it. I see it.
Because what you just said is just so beautiful to me because I'm a strong music connoisseur. And so I feel like our brother Mays, our Frankie Beverly and Mays, they encapsulated this topic so well for us. He said joy and pain.
Yeah.
He said sunshine
and
rain.
Okay.
So that song I love listening to because it level sets everything. Because everything can't always be all the way up.
There's a
it's all working for our greatest good.
It is.
It's
and I love that. And there's a point in the book where you talk about the 5%er pen that your father gave to you in the moment that it was lost. Get the book, but I'm gonna just get this point here. And that you had to go out and look for it.
Yeah. And me and my father just talked about this the other day because he was like, man, you should, because like nobody, even in my family, nobody has read the book before it came out. So my father, when he got the book and he's looking at the pictures and he was like, man, if you would have told me, because he still has the pen.
Wow.
And he was like, I would have gave it to you to put it in the book. And I was like, man, I wasn't even thinking. I said, I was just telling the story, right? But yeah, the biggest thing, like I said, I had the pen, and it was one of the craziest things when I was young because I had to stay out all night.
It was a good lesson though, even for me, because I was trying to go back and remember stuff like, have I ever fought? Because you was, but talk about
so bring some context to it.
The context is that life is not easy.
It's not.
And he had a pen that his daddy said, this pen means something. It just wasn't material.
It's a flag that all 5%ers wear, and it says in the name of God Shammgod, right? And like I said in the book, you know, God Shammgod means Savior to thyself, one who's worthy of greatness, right? So when he gave me the pen, he was like, you need to make sure you take care of this pen. And I'm just looking at it as just, you know, I'm young. I'm looking at it as just a regular pen, you know, and I'm not understanding the meaning behind it, you know, at this point. Because, you know, at this point I'm a 5%er, but I really don't know what that means. I'm just reading because I'm young. And then that day taught me what it meant because like I said, I'm playing. I lost it. And, you know, I'm just coming in like, oh, I lost my pen.
Yeah.
You know, just he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I lost my pen. He's like, well, you better go find it.
Mm.
And I'm like, find it? I'm like, it's like a bunch of grass. What are you talking about? Find it. And he's like, well, you better look through the grass and find it.
Mm.
And that right there just taught me, like you said, a life lesson.
Yeah.
You know, that I would never forget, you know. And like I said, 30, 40 years later, of course, it showed me a life lesson because I remember that day vividly, you know, and I remember like never take anything for granted.
There it is.
You know, and understand, you know, your purpose and understand, you know, when people give you things, you know, so that's why I'm big on relationships.
Yes.
Right? So like,
oh, Sham, can you slow down and just say that again?
Yeah, but that's why I'm big on relationships. So like when I meet people, you know, I embrace people how they embrace me.
Yeah.
But I also once I give you a handshake or a hug, I hold on to those.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't say people family and they're not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I say you family or friend, I'm gonna be there. You know, anything I could do to help, I'm gonna help. You know, and we live in a world where people throw names around.
Yeah.
And don't understand what those names mean, right?
Yep.
So, like, you know, they say, oh, this is my family, this is my brother, this and that. And then they do the craziest things, or they don't help when they can help. You know, it got to be a reason to help.
Well,
yeah.
You know, and it should never be a reason to do the right thing, you know, or to help people, because in those instances, you know, you don't know what lives you could change. You don't know how the universe is working at that time. You know, so that's why I just process everything. And the hardest thing for me is when people do certain things, or if things don't work out their way, then they turn it, or somebody turn it into a negative thing, right?
Yep.
And sometimes things just don't work out.
That's right. But this is my thing with the lesson for me when I was reading that. I was like, man, what I have given up. But it was, you said something came over you.
I love that that you kept trying to come in the house and your father said,
go back out there and find that pen.
Go back out there and
but then it was the pure determination that you had. Like, so no matter what, my plane that I want to land for my audience is, no matter what the obstacles in life are, because they're going to be there. You can't. Everything is not the devil, and we in our culture we will blame every. I know the devil be like, "Wait, I had nothing to do with that." Everything is not the devil. Some stuff is just life pulling in, and on our journey, in this journey that we're in media, I was like, "Oh man, what I have given up," and just been like, "I can't find it," you know. That purpose-driven moment you had where you was like, no, I'm about to find this pen.
Yeah.
That's what we have to have in life. That's why I said this book is more than just basketball.
Very much so.
It's some life lessons that you can take from that to value things. A pen, people be like, they probably sell more. You can go get some more, have another one made. Yeah. But
it was
that
the
one
principle
there
behind
you go.
it.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think, Sham, why I'm so drawn to your gift and to you as a person is because I feel purpose on you. Like I feel the intention on you. I can have a conversation and I'll be like, yes, like it speaks to the purpose and the intention inside of me. So how would you say that sense of purpose evolved you from your playing days to your coaching?
Now to writing a book.
I mean, because for me, like I said, I always had a sense of purpose. You know, my father always instilled that into me. Even when, you know, he went to jail, his presence and everything was still there. And, you know, my mom's always made sure that, like, hey, that's your father, you know. And like I said, mostly in overall, when everything come down to how it's supposed to be, is like my mind can't let me see what my heart won't delete.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, at the end of the day, I'm always going to be in purpose, no matter what.
Thank you for listening. It Doesn't Work That Way podcast is sponsored by Frame of Reference. The series explores the vulnerable and often hectic lives of a close group knit of friends and provides a truthful evaluation of how fear and past misfortunes can define our present point of view. You can stream season 1 of Frame of Reference on the Roku channel, Tubi TV, or Prime Video.
No matter what. And that's why I said it's hard, because when you're in purpose and everything don't go right, then people are taught to give up or blame or say this is that, or but for me it's always been the marathon. You know what I'm saying? It's always been the long haul, and we just don't take enough time to embrace. I'm always going to say that we don't take time to embrace each other and try to understand each other, right? Or try to put ourselves in the other person's shoes, right?
Yeah.
So it's like when you do things in life and people are like, well, this person don't have this person don't have enough experience, this person don't have money, and we learn to treat people like that, right? From those standpoints. But when you look at it and you close your eyes, everybody had a first.
Well,
it was one time somebody saw Spike Lee and was like, well, he never did a movie in his life.
well, come on.
Right?
Right.
It was like sometimes you see somebody that's like, well, he don't have no money.
Right.
Everybody was a first in something.
Yes.
But the problem is we get taught that it only could be one of us. So we get so far ahead that we forget that at some point in life, the same person we talking to, we was that person. Right? So I don't care if you do 150 movies, right? At one point you had 0 movies.
Correct.
Okay? And at one point, and that's why when you look at it, it's the craziest thing about all of it is when you look at it and everybody get to where they want to go, right? Everybody tell the same story.
They do.
Hey, I remember this person gave me the break and wasn't for this person. Everybody had a person.
Yep.
Yes.
So true.
So then why, when you get to a certain place, you don't want to be the person?
Oh, Sham.
If I was on the phone, you would get the buttons. When we be dropping nuggets, we on the phone, we start pushing.
But it's true though.
It's
right?
so true.
So it's like how I talk about Tiny Archibald, right?
Yes.
So I talk about Tiny Archibald 30, 40 years later.
Yeah.
Right? So why wouldn't I want a kid to talk about me 30 or 40 years later and say how I helped his life?
Did people try to tell you it was over because basketball? I mean, was the goal basketball or coaching?
Nah, for me, the goal always was basketball. But the real goal is, like we was talking earlier off the air, right? So when I was young, I used to always, I don't even know if I said that in the book. When I was young, I used to always have this journal. My teacher used to always make me write a journal. So I used to write these journals. I have like books of journals. Like books of just talking about like things that I want or like things that was happening in my household. And I think that's why part of it, me doing the book, like came faster than what I thought, because it's just like me telling the story in my journal, right? So when I'm writing all this stuff, and I look back and like even when I was when I first got out the NBA, and I finally got the journals, and I was looking at it, and I just thought like at this point I'm like, man, life is like done. Not done in a bad way. I'm just like, I was like, because the one thing with me, I don't have an ego or pride about being Shammgod or not being Shammgod.
I can co-sign that.
So it's like, I've always, like, I felt like, okay, the NBA ain't working out. Okay, then I got to get a job. Like, cool. I went to college free. This is still good life. Yeah. Right? So I didn't take it as everybody else took it. But what I'm trying to say is like, when all that stuff happened, everything that I wrote in my journal, I was right there. The thing I wrote at 13, I was right there, at 25. And I was like, man, the biggest word that I had in there is that I just wanted to be an inspiration. I want to have impact.
Wow.
Right? So then when it's all said and done, like I exceeded that part, because when I'm dead and gone,
Yeah.
you know, every time a kid get a certain age, their family would teach them how to do the Shammgod, right? So therefore, when my kids is gone, so the one thing you want to do in life is anything is like leave something better than how you found it, right?
Yes.
So I know, because most people learn about like how they inspire people when they dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm just so lucky to be blessed that I live in my inspiration every day, you know, because people tell me.
Yeah.
And then I see, right? So my family get to see it with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not a person like I passed away and someone was telling my cousin or my brother, oh, you know, the impact your brother had on me.
Yep.
So with that being said, it's like, what more can I ask for?
Yeah.
You know? And when people are like, man, you're so humble, or you this and that, and it's like, nah, it's not even that. Like, I just know everything comes from God. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, I could have wrote this story 1,000,000 times and it wouldn't have been this.
Exactly.
Right? So therefore, and it wouldn't have been bigger than this. You know? So, because the things that's happening now in my life is things that I didn't think were possible from where I'm coming from. Like, where I come from, people don't write books. Where I come from, people don't have their own sneaker.
Right.
Where I come from, people don't know their names in China or Dubai or Saudi Arabia, like different places. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, it's just something to be said by that. Because it's like, when you look at, and this is no knock to anybody, but when you look at like people that people consider like great or things that great, they always remember by one name, right? So like, when I'm dead and gone, I will always be remembered as Shammgod, right? So, you know, whether it's Tyson, whether it's Jordan, whether it's Kobe,
Jackson.
whether it's Jackson, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's certain words you say that people automatically go to that person.
Yeah.
Right? So like, you know, because I got kids, I got other family members, like, but like when you say Shammgod, it will always go to me.
Yep.
Right? It would never be a mistaken of anything else, right? So, you know, I'm beyond blessed when it comes to that stuff.
I agree.
Totally agree. And I also, when, you know, as I was reading the book and, you know, I'm deep into it, but I have to say this again, like the people that you were around and what we now know they have gone on to do, but you all were just being you.
Yeah.
And then I love when you reference that they still them today. They just got more, you know, more whatever, but they still those people at heart. Yeah. And I feel like that's intentional. I feel like we live in a world where everything now is so fast paced that you got to try to concoct a story and not just live a story, to live that purpose out, to discover that purpose. So essentially, you discovered basketball. It wasn't, you said you wasn't even mentioned in the house. That's the beauty of what I find in the book is the discovery of and going through the process. And on our show, we talk a lot about the process. We don't want to hide the process because the process is not glamorized. No. Right? And then there's a line you had was like, you know, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? You know, you close that one chapter. It was like, it ain't the A train. It's practice. And it's more practice, but no one, you know, showing you out in the court with the good light that you referenced, right? You know, and you out there, you dribbling, you playing, you dribbling, and your friends are going to a party. And they coming back from the party at 1:00 and you still out there dribbling that ball. That's the sacrifice that it takes to have your name. No one can ever do that again. You marked it. Yeah. That's the Shammgod. But it took you it was sacrifice to get that.
Yeah, it's because, you know, in life we never want to see the ugly.
No.
You know, we only want to see the glamour. We always want to see when someone gets to the top. You know, we always want to be, we don't want to be on a ride with a person, right? So it's like I always tell people, like, you know, when you trying to invest and trying to help people, you don't have to be everything. You know what I'm saying? Be part of a winning situation. So true. You know, and every winning situation look different. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we just don't embrace that. Yeah. We always want to be the winner, right? And you know, whether it's Jay-Z, whether it's Nas, whether it's whether it's Jordan, wherever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're a part of a situation that's great, right? When you go back to wherever you're from, or you go back to your family or wherever you go, you are those people. And you don't realize that.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're so trying to fight to be that person or trying to be in that seat. And sometimes you just got to be a part of the greatness. And sometimes you just got to do your part.
Yeah.
And be a star in your part. And when you're a star in your part and everybody win, then you win. You know? And we just come, like I said, we just come from a culture where we don't want to be in the trenches until we feel the trenches pay off, or we don't want to be the people that's like, man, let's get it. You know, it's just like when you look at years ago, whether it was Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and them, you know, the march wasn't the end.
Yeah. Facts. It was just the beginning.
That's the first part. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't trying to be just, oh, look at me, I'm on the line.
Yep.
You know, and they wasn't the people that say, you know what, if y'all don't get off this line, you're not going to have no money.
Yep.
Right? So we live in a world where we got a lot of people that, they want to show. And then when the consequences hit, then they're like, oh, yeah, we got to get off this line.
I know.
Baby, do you know them lines?
You know what
like
I'm saying?
on the script. Like, don't come here unprepared. I love that. What was you going to say, Kachelle?
Solutions, like, how would you quantify? Let me ask this. We often highlight connecting skills with vision. So what's the link between discipline and vision? Like, why we got the show, it doesn't work that way, because we're telling people it's not all glamour. It doesn't work that way. So how do you connect discipline with vision? Like, what made you stay when they wanted to go party?
Because for me, like you said, a vision with no discipline is just an illusion. Right? So like, if you don't have no plan to your vision, it's just an illusion. You know what I'm saying? So like, for me, with any vision, it's just like, whether it's the Bible, whether it's the Quran, it's a blueprint. Yeah. Like the answers is in there. So like, you know, whether you make it to the NBA or not, if you like, yo, I want to be a great player, somebody gonna say, hey, you need to work out this time of day.
Yep.
You need to make sure your body's this. You need to be able to do this. You need to be able to do that, right? So what we say is, we just be like, in life, like, we get frustrated, just like driving, right? So somebody say, hey, drive this way, and then somebody's always like, man, I know a shortcut. Right? So now,
Facts.
because they're frustrated about the drive, right? And but the drive is the journey. You're supposed to enjoy the ride, you know, because when you take the shortcut, right, sometimes you're going to get by.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the one time that you don't get by. And that's when it's going to mess everything up.
Yes.
Right? So it's like, that's why I say I just equate basketball to life. So it's like, if I want to do this, then I know what I need to do.
Yes.
You know, like, it's no secret. See, that's the thing about everything that's going on. It's no secret.
Yeah.
Like, everything is there for everybody. It's no secret. Like, it's no secret to being a good person. It's no secret to helping people. It's no secret to none of that. It's just all about if you want to do it, right? And it's all about if, like, I want to do it for the camera, or I just want to do it because that's just my nature to do it, right? And I just, like I said, I just came from a place where it was like, just get it done. You know, it was like, yo, we don't care about all the other stuff. We don't care how long it take. We don't care about this. We just care about you getting it done. Right? So even with my friends, because all my friends didn't make it, all my friends are not famous. You know what I'm saying? So even them, you know, when I talk to them, I always talk to them about, like, you know, let's do this. Like, even if you, like, even, you know, when people read the book, not to give the book away, but it was times where I was down and out, and I had my friends living with me. Cause I was like, yo, y'all come on my vision, you know, until you figure it out, right? Because I'm like, yeah, I don't have nothing, but whatever I have, you got right? So from those standpoint, those memories are probably the best memories of our friendship.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the memories where, oh, Sham is in the NBA or this. The memories that's the best memories is like, yo, man, we trying to figure out. We got $10. We trying to figure out how four people gonna eat off $10, right? And then things happen, and you be like, man, did that just happen? Right. Or like you be like, man, we don't got no money today, man. We trying to figure out, and then something happened, and you get $100, and you like, where this come from, right? So, but that's all. That's all in the grind.
Yes.
Where God just show up. Like, like, I'm gonna show you how powerful I am. I'm gonna show you how I am, right? So now it comes from nowhere and it's like this. So then when I'm sitting there talking about the future, I know it's gonna happen one way or the other because only thing I have to do is stay disciplined and stay focused because I know I'm doing the right thing by the people to myself and the people that's around me, right? And like I said, none of us is gonna be perfect, right?
No.
But in the midst of like confusion and misunderstanding, you got to stay strong and stay patient, right? So it's like
core values.
Yeah. So it's like even with my friends, right? My friends will always be like, "Man, you just so patient. Like you just so like we could get in an argument or whatever, and they'll be like, "Man, you won't call us back. You won't call, right?" So that's the thing. You won't call. But then when we speak, it's just like it was yesterday. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm not getting on the phone with you to argue with you about something that happened 3 days ago, right? Yeah. We all have bad days.
Yes.
And we all have different stuff that we deal with.
Yes.
You know, and nobody can tell you a reason for the things you do, right? So if you love and care for someone, then you just got to believe in the love and the care, right? And if you don't feel that way, then you need to leave it alone because then every time y'all get into something, it's always going to be personal.
Yep.
You know, and that's just how I am. Like when it comes to life, when it comes to basketball, when it comes to my kids, tell them that like it's the same thing. You know, because I remember my son. He had this big thing about. He said somebody my family didn't. He said somebody in my family didn't invite him somewhere, right? And it was to a dinner, and I had paid for the dinner or whatever. So then but I told him about the dinner, right? And so it was like a day before the dinner, and I'm like, it was when my mom's passed away. So I'm like, hey, are you going to the dinner? And he's like, he's in college, and he's like, no, I'm not coming down. Nobody, they didn't invite me, and this and that. And I said, what do you mean? And I was like, you knew about the dinner, right? And he's like, yeah, but nobody called me. They called such and such and called this person. And I said, and my kids know I don't really like go with it like that. So I just said, I was like, you know, you think you that important that people intentionally said we're not inviting you?
Wow.
So then he's like, you know, because, you know, my kids, they're spoiled, whatever, you know. But, you know, they have good lives. So it's like,
amen.
Yeah. So I'm like, you think you're that important? That's people just intentionally said, out of all your brothers, like, we're not inviting you. And he's like, nah, this is this and that. And I said, you know, I pay for the dinner, right? And I said, if I don't go to the dinner, you know what they're going to do? They're going to still eat the food. And they still going to be like, man, Sham, I wish you would have came. Right? So I said, don't ever think you're that important that people just intentionally doing stuff or not doing stuff. You know, you're doing that yourself because I'm saying, I'm like, yo, I pay for the dinner. I do this, I do that. But if I don't show up to the dinner, they're not going to cancel the dinner because I didn't come to the dinner. I said, because, yeah, they love me and that's my family. I'm not that important for them to just cancel the dinner. They're going to eat the dinner and they're going to just be like, man, Sham, you missed a good dinner. I wish you would have came. like, we got to stop getting out of our way where we think everything is just so personal and not just be like, man. And I'm not saying you don't hold people accountable. You hold them accountable, but you hold them accountable without making it like so personal,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that's why we can't talk to each other.
Ooh.
Because it get personal too quick.
Yeah.
Emotions start flying.
Yeah. And half of the time you're looking at the other person like, what are you talking about?
And we know we got family members that some people ain't talking to this day. And you like, y'all really was fighting over the last piece of chicken on the grill?
Yeah.
Like, or you won't even remember what it was that you were fighting over.
And believe me, one of y'all don't even know what you're talking about.
Exactly. Oh my God. The community, the bubbles that we live in.
Yeah.
Nobody does it better than the Watts Podcast Network.
Just that simple.
Just that simple.
Listeners trying to turn their own skills into a bigger vision, whether that's film, business, or sports. Sham, what advice on setting intentions would you give them that stick? Like for some reason, or do you feel like it's strictly mentality? Because sometimes Kalisha will say, I have never seen somebody as like you I'm like a bulldog. If I see so, I ain't let that thing go until I get to the end. And she was like, where did that come from? And I was like, I don't know. It's just in me. I don't know where it comes from. But if my mind is set on something, you can't deter me. I'm gonna get it done. Is that something we can teach people, or do you feel like it's just inherent? You either got it or you don't?
No, I believe, you know, most things is inherent, but I believe you could teach somebody anything.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty and that's the magic of us being human beings.
Right.
Like you could teach us anything. I mean,
why do you think it sticks for some and not for others? Or is it something that we can't even, you just got to put it out there and you just got to let it fall on who it falls on, and whoever's going to pick it up and run with it, that should just let them, don't be concerned. Don't even concern yourself with how to make it stick. Just make sure that you're sharing the information.
Yeah, I would just say for the most part, people just don't have the vision, right? They have the want, but not the vision, right? So it's like, you know, I could want to be rich, but if I don't have the vision to be rich, then I'm not going to be rich, right? Because that means I'm not going to do the work. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Right. So if you can't see the vision of how you get in there, you know, and that's why you'll see people look at pictures from like back in the days and things like that. And, or you see people always talk about, man, I used to be like this and I used to be like that. And it's like, yeah, for me, when you say used to be, that's like an insult, right? Because it's like, when you say used to be, then I mean, what happened? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I get confused with the used to be, because it's like, okay, so then what happened, right? So then that means at some point you stop running your race. Oh, right. And most people, that's what happened, right? They get complacent, or they get lazy, or they just stop seeing the vision, right? So they get to a point where they see only what's in front of them, right? And you got to be able to see beyond. You got to be able to see around the corner. You got to be able to see all that, right? And then most people get scared, right? And most people, and the other people, they got so much fear.
Yeah, I don't like that word.
Right? So I try to tell people, instead of you like having fear, how about just be aware?
Yeah, I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you're aware, that means you see everything. You know, when you're fear or you're scared, you just try and get up out of there. So then you don't see the very things you're fearful of. So you know, that's just like if I walk down the street and I'm scared and I'm fearful, I walk with my head down, right? So then I can't see people jumping out, right? But if I'm aware, I see I see where the corners at, I see where the holes at, so I'm ready. Right? Whether it's to stay and fight or whether it's to run away, I'm ready. Yeah. But if you walking down the street and you got your head down, on 10 to 10, you're going to get hit in the head, right?
Right.
So I just believe people just don't, they just believe into a certain extent, you know, and they just, they let other people put their fears on them, right? So when other people say, well, you can't do that because I didn't do this.
That's a whole nother episode, but yes.
You know, so it's like those things happen. And for me, I've just always been driven to want more and to want to be more, right? So even this version of me now 10 years from now will be totally different.
Exactly.
Right? And I understand that. So I'm never gonna I take everything as learning.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because no matter how old I am, I'm still in the process of learning, right? Because we have us being who we are as people, right? We have such big hearts.
Yes.
Right? We have such big hearts and we have big minds, right? So we always, if you look at our history, we taught ourselves how to read.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, we was born with rhythm and dancing and stuff like that. Everything we do is a culture. Everything we do, we can make money off of, right?
Everything.
So then I don't understand why, when we have so many advancements now, that we take so many shortcuts to get it, right? so that's what happens, right? And that's how it is now. Yeah.
Fear, shortcuts.
But when it comes for so like what I've seen, like with Kachelle, she moved with no fear. Like I literally don't get it. Sometimes I'll be like, girl, we better, I am that person. But I will encourage the audience and the listeners, like, work on seeing that vision. Sometimes you got to get quiet. You can't always doom scroll. You got to read a book. So I appreciate the book because you slowed me down, where before you just get a clip and you be like, oh, I was like, no, I got to be prepared. Let me get in this book. And that slowed me down, where my phone was turned down, TV was off. I got in the couch. And then when I was getting pen and paper, I was like, oh, this is teaching me something. But to the audience, no fear. Be aware and get around people, not to be jealous of people that got the vision, right? But to be inspired.
Yeah, be a sponge.
Yeah, and soak it up.
You know what I'm saying? And the biggest part of our journey is you gotta be willing to make sacrifice.
Oh, sham.
So if you're not willing to make a sacrifice, then it's not going nowhere anyway. Like none of this stuff, like, yes, I honestly believe, and I would say this wholeheartedly, was meant to be, will be.
Yes.
But you still have to do your part.
Yeah.
Right? So at some point, you have to do your part, right? Yeah, God's going to carry you. He's going to do everything he can do, but you still have to do your part.
You mean I can't just be like, God, show up to my door and put $99 million in my bank account? I mean, we got to get from that. We got to put the sweat equity into everything that we do.
You got to, because, like I said, man, we taught ourselves how to read, and now we can read, and we don't want to read books.
It's wild.
So it's just like I tell my friends, because we always have this joke, and I'll be like, man, you work your whole life to get famous, and now you don't want people to speak to you. Right? So for me, that's like, that makes absolutely no sense.
None.
And it's like, yeah, of course, there's boundaries, there's certain things.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, come on, you did all this to be this, and now you aggravated that people speak to you or people notice you and stuff like that. So like, I would never be consumed with myself like that. Because, like I said, at one point, I was the kid that looked at somebody else and was like, man, I wish I could talk to him. I wish I could get an autograph.
Sure.
So when I see people do the opposite, but that's the world we live in, right? So like, if I go to a restaurant and I didn't have no money and I look funny or whatever, they'd be like, man, get him out of here. But then I could come back the next year and be Shammgod, and it's like, hey, give me you got what you want.
You're right.
Yeah. So we done built a world where things don't make sense, where common sense is not common sense, right? So you have to always go into, whether it's a relationship, friendship, teaching, whatever, as they don't know. And then that's how you proceed from there. Right?
That's good.
Because most of the confusion in any relationship is you're giving the other person more credit than they deserve, or you putting them on a pedestal, right?
Yep.
So when you put them on a pedestal and something happens, you're so devastated that it makes you react in a way, right? So it's just like when I was young, and I used to be like, love a guy named Kenny Anderson, right? So I used to be in the mirror. I used to practice walking like him, talking like him, everything. And when I saw him for the first time and met him, he was everything I thought he was, right? So that just made me love and appreciate him more, you know? But then there's some people in life, they meet their person and their person is not that. So then it does the exact opposite to you, right? So like I always work so hard because when people meet me, I want them to meet me as Shammgod, like every time, not as somebody that when they met me, whether it's talking, seeing me, whatever, they was disappointed.
Yeah,
you know, so that means a lot to me too because. Those are things life is built on.
I agree.
Because you don't forget those moments.
No, I recently had one. We were in Los Angeles, and we went to see Ari Hall, and I watched him from afar for like 8 years, and then I went, and the ladies were so gracious to go with me, and when we got there, he wasn't spinning. He's a DJ. And I was so disappointed. And my sister and my friend, they were just kind of like, we're going to stick this out with you. And Kalisha, she said, is Mr. Ari Hall here tonight?
I was 40 years, I'm 40 years old now. I was like, first of all, it is 12:30. Kalisha is needing to go to bed. But when the man walked by, I was like, he look like he working here. I think he can answer this question. I was like, sir, is Ari Hall here tonight? He said, no, he ain't spinning. But he working. And I was like, we came all the way from Dallas, Texas. And Kachelle fell in love with this DJ during COVID. Like,
yes.
You know,
well, 2018.
2018. Okay, yes. Before, but he did a lot of stuff in COVID during the time when we were stuck in the house.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. I was like, we done been out here. It's 12:30.
Make a long story short, he came out and he was it was what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't no pretentiousness. It wasn't no phoniness. He was so genuine, kind. He was like, I'm off tonight. I'm just running the place, but I'm going to spin for you. Yeah. You came all the way out here from Dallas. It was just beautiful. So what I hear you talking about is integrity. Who I am behind closed doors is who you see when you meet, when you walk up to me. And you can't ask for anything better than that.
Thank you for listening. It Doesn't Work That Way podcast is sponsored by The Watts Announcer. The Watts Announcer is a media brand that covers the amazing emerging talents in the entertainment industry, including movies, TV, and more. The inaugural episode features the cast of Frame of Reference. Hosted by Amanda Gaddison, the exclusive interview will be available only on the Watts Prod YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe for notifications.
A new question for you, and we want to know, is being close to greatness something that happens often?
No, it definitely doesn't work that way.
And I say that because you've been around some of the greatest in the game.
I mean,
I appreciated reading about your story between you and Kobe Bryant, Kyrie Irving. I don't want to butcher Luka's last name,
but just we love.
Can you pronounce Luka's last name?
Doncic.
Okay, Doncic. Come on. And now the Orlando Magic's rising stars. How would you define greatness, Sham? And what have you learned about greatness personally and publicly by just being in the room?
I think for me, greatness is a person that just lifts everybody up around him. You know, it's not for me. It's not so much about accolades. You know, for me, it's more of, you know, the accolades is just like the cherry on the top, right? But like for me, it's more about the impact that people have on other people's lives, right? So, you know, the great ones understand they're great, and they understand they got to carry, right? So most of the great ones, they always got their bucket of water and they carry it, you know, because they know what they're here for.
Yeah. So
it's not about them; it's about everything around them. You know, whether it's in sports or whether it's off the court, right? And the great ones make sacrifices that people will never understand.
Wow.
Right? And that's like the biggest part, because if you can't understand something, then it's hard for you to see what's going on, right?
Yep.
So the great ones, they go through, of course, in the end, they get praised for their greatness. But in the middle of their greatness or the rise of their greatness is always problems.
Right.
Right? And that's only because of the misunderstanding.
Facts.
Yes.
Right? So like you'll see a documentary with Jordan.
Yes.
And they show like, you know, his greatness and how obsessed he was. And people would be like, man, this and that. But then now that he's gone and not playing, then people appreciate his greatness.
Yeah.
You know, rest in peace, Kobe was the same way. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, everybody's not going to understand your greatness. And sometimes people take your greatness as arrogance, not caring, or a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
Right? But I believe greatness is a person staying the course, even when it's confusing.
Yes.
You know, and just fighting through it to get to the finish line.
Yeah.
Right.
And know that in the finish line that people will understand.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's the hardest part with greatness, because you're so many people in that one time period of greatness, right? Because in greatness, you know, you're a friend, you know, you're a confidant, you're a leader, you're a tyrant.
Yep.
You know, so you all these things. You know, it's kind of like being a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in the beginning with your kids, you know, you want to be their friend. You know, they don't know how to walk, they don't know how to do this. You call them this and that. Then somewhere in the middle, you're the person that's disciplining them.
Right.
So of course now they look at you like a tyrant. Like, man, why every time this and that? Then when they get adults and they start making their own money, or they live by themselves, or they have kids, now you're their friend again.
Yep.
And you're giving them advice and you're trying to help them and things like that. So I just believe we just all wear so many different hats that we don't understand. And when they clash, they clash.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand that emotional intelligence or the awareness of all the stuff that you're dealing with in the process, then it's like, you know, it's a big boom and it's a small boom.
Yeah.
You know, and that's for me, that's what greatness is always. Greatness will always be the impact you have on people, not about how much money you got.
I agree.
How many accolades you got.
Right.
You know, because in life, the one thing you can appreciate about life is it will always be somebody that come around every so often that will show you that greatness is not about money, accolades, and all this other stuff.
I totally agree.
Right? Because their impact is so big.
Yes.
And you're sitting there like, why is this person important?
Yes. Yeah. No doubt.
Because they don't have the money, they don't have the accolades.
Exactly.
And you're like, why is everybody loved or amazed by this person? You know? And those are things that happens.
Did you recognize it though when you were in the room? Like when you were in the room, did you have awe moments? Like, man, I'm around like a lot of phenomenal people. Because I've had those moments, and I'm just like I had to tell Kalisha one time. I was like, snap out of it. I was like, you know, God wouldn't put us in this room if we weren't supposed to be paying attention. Get out of the clouds. It was like, it's too much greatness in this room for us not to be soaking it up. Have you had moments like that?
Nah, I had more moments of like, this is really happening.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Because the thing with me is, you know, like I share in the book, like I just been blessed to have people that other people consider great, right?
Yeah.
So for me, being in rooms as an adult, you know, it's not that hard because I'm always going to come in a room as Shammgod, no matter what, right? Because of the fact that the people that have been in my life forever, I've seen them come from nothing. So therefore, I was part of their journey. So I seen them come from nothing to be this something. So I'm more amazed that like, man, this stuff is happening.
Yeah.
Then instead of like, oh, this is great, or I'm in a room with this person, it's like, no, because for me, that person is still always going to be that same person.
Right.
But the stuff that they did in life is amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
So it's like, you know, seeing Mace, seeing Cam, seeing Jay-Z, seeing different people, it's like, yeah, I have moments where I look, you know, I remember the first time Mace got signed, and he performed in Apollo, right? And this is like when he made 112, like it was like a hit. It was him, Biggie, and 112. And it was like, hum all you want to, come all you
Shout
want to,
out
and
to
all that
112. That was my group. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like, I remember going to the Apollo, like a place we used to sneak into, right? But now he's on stage.
Wow.
And I sit there and I'm looking and I'm like, wow, like, man, like this is so crazy. Because just the year before that, everywhere I went and played basketball, I used to take him with me. And I used to make him rap for people. I used to be like, man, he can rap. And they're like, man, he
Putting your
can't rap.
friend on. I know that's right.
They're like, man, nobody want to hear that. Man, he can't rap. And then, like, you know, that's why he said in one song, he's like, yeah, Earth spins twice. Mace is hot. It's Billboard hottest merchandise. Because it's facts. Like, in 1 year, he went from literally coming to these little AAU high school games and people are like, man, he can't rap, to him being the biggest, youngest rapper out, right? So just seeing that on stage is like, I'm like, man, this is like this is crazy, right? And it was just one of those moments where you just like more proud than amazed.
Yeah, I love that.
You know? So I'm just like, man, this is really happening. You know what I'm saying? And then because I don't have the jealous bone or the envious bone, the only thing I could be in is in the awe of being grateful. Like, man, my brother's like doing his thing. Like, that's what's up.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And God give us the strength to be aware.
Yeah.
Like I you know, you want to be aware. I want to be aware, and I think that comes with humility. Like, let me just watch. Let me see what's in the room.
Yeah.
And it takes emotional intelligence not to be jealous of people that are doing great things. Buy their book. Watch their show. Shout out to Frame of Reference on Prime Video.
Oh, definitely watch Frame of Reference.
Yes, thank you, sir. Go ahead and stream. Thank you very much, because you like people didn't see what you guys did because y'all were so close, but everybody didn't see all of that process. But when it was time for him to go on, he was ready.
Yeah, but what people don't understand is because we get so caught up in trying to prove points, that we miss the whole point. In general, right? So we sit here trying to prove points that we missed the point, right? And the point of it is, by me saying what that incident that happened is because right then and there, when I saw him on stage, I'm like, okay, you're this person, right? So I wasn't, so even when we hang out and be together, you're not Little Mace that was running around that people didn't want to hear rap, right? You're not that person. Like, you're the person that's on stage. Right? So, therefore, I'm always going to embrace and treat and talk to you that way. You know what I'm saying? The problem is we be around people that help you forget who you are.
Oh,
right? Because the way they treat you or the way they talk to you, or because they have these relationships with you, right? So, I'm not going to let anyone, because you know me, devalue me because you know me, right? Because you could be around someone and you could be doing the same thing somebody else is doing, but because that person know you, they don't look at you and talk to you like they would talk to the other person, right?
Facts.
So what happens is you get devalued, right? And then when that happens, then if you do it long enough, of course you forget who you are and you start doing crazy stuff. It's just like in any relationship, friendship, or whatever, is like, I'm not going to let you pinpoint me to be one thing. Right? So it's like, okay, I know you mad at this or you mad at that or whatever, but I'm not just that. So when you make it just about that, it's like, it's hard for me because I'm looking like, because I don't look at people like that, right? Because we're so many facets
layered
of people, right? So because of that, but then we let life pinpoint us to be one thing, right? And like be in a box, and it's like for me, it's hard to be in a box when you're so many things, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we can do so many things, you know, because like I said, you know, you're a father, you're a brother, you're a son, you all these things, you play all these characters.
Yeah.
But then you allow someone to say, nah, you're this. And that's tough.
And I'm very careful with words, Sham. So anybody that's close to me know this. I think words have so much power. So I thought it was very like poignant that you said the word of God. I was like, who is Shammgod? Like, what is going on? Like, what's happening? Because the words mean so much to me.
Yes.
And intention means a lot to me. Greatness is something that I just drive in. And I know sometimes I talk about it a lot and I can see people eye roll at me, Sham, but I don't care because I'm so inspired by greatness. And so would you say that sometimes people think proximity to greatness is luck? Or do you believe that it's just intentional? Because I'm so intentional, Sham, that I didn't even see like knowing you was going to be a part of my journey. But I sit back and I laugh sometimes and I'll be like, oh my gosh, it was intended. Because it's a lot of your character that resonates with how I think. You're very encouraging. You're very inspiring. You just drop these bold gems, and I'll be like, I'm walking away with something I can actually use. It's tangible.
Yes.
Do you think proximity to greatness is luck, or you feel like that's just as intentional as you knowing your vision? Look, I wrote down something that you said, and I'm going to go back to it because it was so powerful, and I hear it in my heart, and it won't let me go. You said people have the want, but not the vision. Yeah. So you might want to be great, but is your vision centered around greatness? I know mine's is. I have like so many stories where I could just tell people and they'll be like, you're lying. And I'm like, no, I'm so laser focused. Like I know that certain things are going to come into my life just because I'm that intentional. Do you think it's luck?
Nah, I don't think, you know, luck is like playing the lotto and hit the lotto. Right. And even that in some cosmic universe is what's supposed to happen.
Exactly.
Right. So I don't believe in luck. I believe things are intentional, right? And I believe you just have to have the patience, right? Because we want things when we want them, and whatever you're supposed to get on your journey, that's what's supposed to happen. And all that still is intentional, right? So you might not meet this great person, but you met this great person, right? You can't put names on what you think is great, right? And I believe we always put names on what we think is great or what we think is like a win or what we think is an accomplishment, right? And what we don't understand is if he give you what you asked for, you'll get there and you'll want something else.
Ooh.
Right? So
never satisfied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not that you're not, you know, I don't want to say it's that you're not satisfied. The problem is when you get the thing that you want, your vision wasn't big enough. So therefore, when you get there, then you start feeling like, man, this ain't what I thought it would be. So then you're searching for the real vision that's inside you, right? So we come to all these things, and that's why when you see, if you ever watch Us, right? When you first get money, right? You'll see it. Big car.
Check.
Big jewelry.
Check.
You know, lots of ladies or lots of guys, either one, like if you're male or female, you know, furs, sneakers, all this stuff, right? But the moment you get wealthy, right, you'll see a person with a T-shirt on, drive whatever car, because they don't care no more because they are the wealth.
That realization,
right? So if you look at how it transpires, it goes opposite, right? And then the world judge you less because they know more about you, and then they see all the stuff that you're doing. And all that stuff don't matter no more.
Yep.
Right? But when you first hit it, you're like, I have to jump out. Like, I got to be out, right? And then when you see,
done on y'all.
yeah. So then when you see someone like taking care of themselves, walking purpose, or helping other people, then the glow is just the glow.
Right?
So then
because you got the glow. You got the glow. Yeah. Yes.
So then it's just a little different, right?
Yes.
So it's just like I joke about this with my friends. So I say, oh man. I said, man, I gotta be careful out here now. And they were like, man, what are you talking about? And I said, man, because I wrote a book, they think I'm smart now because I'm an author, right? So that's what you would categorize with being smart. Like you see somebody, oh, he wrote a book, or this person is a doctor, or this person is this, right? So when you have these things in front of your name, then it makes you something else, and you're the same person before the things in front of your name, right? So that's why I say I try my hardest not to let my talent outshine who I am inside. Because all these things is things.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
What I value about you, Sham, is that you talked about the glow.
Come on.
And the glow is so serious. You've seen The Last Dragon.
Of course.
And so we all knew that that he had the glow.
And we did a whole episode on The Last Dragon.
And so Bruce Leroy
knew
that he had, he
was on the discovery
for the glow.
Yeah.
Hello.
And then he tapped into it and he realized he had the glow. And although Show Enough was trying to take the glow away or diminish the glow, it went when he put his head down in that water and said, who's the master?
Kachelle,
who's the master?
Yes.
Who's the master? And he said, I am. And people don't realize that I am is the greatest command you could ever give yourself.
Oh my God.
And so I appreciate you. I just appreciate you, Sham, being in the atmosphere, in the earth, because you carry such, your orbit carries a lot of good energy.
Yes.
And that's uncommon. That's rare. And I will never normalize that. So when I get in situations where I'm with people that know how to speak life and know how to amplify encouragement and will find the good in every situation and is just a good human being, that inspires me on so many levels. And you carry a lot of that. And so for me, I'm inspired by, one, your journey, your transparency, your honesty. I love how you amplify character over talent, because people think, oh, I'm talented and that's enough.
It ain't.
And it's not.
It ain't. I want, because I could talk to you all day, and I know you are you got things to do, and I want to move us along because I still got a lot of questions. But I do want to ask you this. Just speaking of the glow, shout out to Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. Okay, how do you see the role of media in shaping how Black athletes and coaches are perceived? How do you see that taking place?
I perceive it in a confusing way. Because I believe both people need to work together.
Yeah.
And I believe that we're in a space where we're not trying to work together most of the time.
Yeah.
That we're trying to be the space, right? So it's like one of those things where you can't say you misunderstood if you're not trying to let people understand you, right? So when it comes to the media and coaching and everything, I just think we all need to just work together and help each other, right? And we all not gonna have, like I said, great days. Nothing is perfect, but if you have a certain amount of respect and boundaries, I think you could get through anything and you can make things work.
Yes.
Because we're in a place in the world now and how everything is going. We just need to focus on making things work.
Amen. Yes.
Right? You don't gotta be the best of something.
Yeah.
But I believe you should be in a process of trying to make things work, right? Especially when it comes to us.
Yeah.
Right? I think you should try to make things work, especially when things are coming from a good place.
Yes.
And like I said, we focus a lot on the action instead of the intent, right? So, and I feel we get that confused a lot, the intent with the action.
Yes.
And
It's so true.
Yeah, and I think it's just hard because everything goes so fast,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have social media, we have this, we have that, and we have everything like microwave, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody want what they want now,
Yeah.
right? So if you got 10 people, all 10 people want what they want now. That is totally impossible, right?
Preach.
You know, so it's like, you know, if you put the food on the table right now, you just tell people, hey, just go get the food.
Yep, just go eat.
Somebody's not going to have food. Right? Now, the people that's going to the table, their intent is not for everybody not to have food.
Mm-hmm.
But their actions, they're just, and you're like, man, they're just doing this. Nah, that person probably didn't even notice you didn't get nothing.
Right.
Right? So therefore, it lies the problem.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So, you know, I just wish people just like look at people. I'm more of like an intent person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I really don't have like arguments and stuff with a lot of people because I'm more like, man, do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like if I call you and you call back 2 days later, I'm not waiting for you to call back 2 days later and be like, yo, why you didn't call me yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's that important, I'm gonna make sure I figure out what I need to figure out. But it's like I don't where I'm more different than I think a lot of people. I'm more solution based than problem.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You know, so like
Mm-hmm.
if somebody supposed to call me and they don't call, I'm like, oh, they must have got caught up or they're busy. I'm not saying, oh, this person
Just ignoring me.
Like this person just said, yo, I'm not calling him. Like to me, that makes like to me, I didn't do nothing for you to just say I'm not calling you.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
so evidently, I just take it, and it could be my naive. I just take it always as like, oh, something must have happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Emotional intelligence high. Now we're filmmakers. You know, we're filmmakers.
Yes.
If and when a filmmaker were to adapt the Word of God into a documentary or a feature film, it's the one scene from your life that absolutely must be in there.
I would say me and my mom sitting on the bed watching stories.
Yeah, what was the story? It was
We used to watch Luke and Lori, General Hospital, One Life to Live.
Yes.
So I would say that
Okay.
because like
That's
she's the one that made me like fall in love with like sitcoms and all the stuff that I do now. You know, and like I said, that was like our time. So that was like the biggest thing to me growing up. You know, like, come on, man, you're talking about a young black kid from Bronx and Harlem, and I knew about like Luke and Laura and all this other stuff. You know, that
it was good too. What?
Yeah, but that wouldn't even exist now.
Yeah.
Like, it's no kid that would tell me, come up to me and say they watch General Hospital, because it's still on TV now.
Oh,
You know
Young
what
and
I'm
the
saying?
Restless.
Yeah, Young and the Restless, stuff like that. So, like, just those memories, you know, those memories of that,
Yeah.
you know, that would absolutely have to be in there and in there the way I talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
It was, the way it's, go get the book. Go get the
You
book.
know?
So I want to end with a quick lightning round.
Shoot it.
First things that come to mind.
Mhm.
Favorite crossover move other than The Shammgod?
I would say Tim Hardaway.
Okay. The best teammate you ever had?
The best teammate I had? I think I talked about him in the book. Corey Wright.
Okay. One word to describe your book?
Excitement.
Yes. All right. Dream director to make the Word of God film?
Besides y'all?
Y'all heard her? That's an excuse. Come on, Lord. Yes. Besides Kachelle, Zachery, and Kalisha, Zachery, who?
I would say probably Spike Lee, because he's from the culture.
Yeah.
And when I was young, he wanted me to be in, oh man, I don't know why I'm drawing the blank in the movie.
He Got Game?
He Got Game.
Yeah.
And he named the Jesus part after me.
Yes.
So like, yeah, I'll say Spike.
Wait a minute.
That to me still blows my mind.
That blows my mind too. So God Shammgod, Jesus Shuttlesworth. Wait a minute, Sham. So you mean to tell me you was just like, nah, I'll pass?
No, it wasn't even that. It was because it was like a collab thing. It was like about me and Stephon Marbury. So it's like me and him both was gonna be in it. Like we was gonna audition and do the stuff, but we was going to college at the time.
Yeah,
and they couldn't pay us.
Okay, filmmaker life.
Because it would have been no. He had the money, but it would have been against the NCAA. So then we wouldn't be able to because we would have been considered professional, so we wouldn't be able to get a scholarship.
No NIL.
It was no NIL. I wish it was NIL.
I know, right?
Yeah, man.
Shout out to the NIL now.
Yeah, it was NIL.
Explain what the NIL
Name,
is.
likeness, and image.
Okay.
If I had NIL, whew.
For basketball players that back in the day, basketball players did their thing. They moved the culture. They put the butts in the seats, and they didn't get a portion of the revenue. They just got paid scholarships, food program, room and board, etc.
If I had NIL, I'll probably own a team by now.
Okay.
Yes.
All the money that was coming that way.
Before we go to your last,
hold on,
Kalisha, let me ask this because you just brought up Spike Lee.
I
he's
know,
one of my favorites.
Spike. Yes.
So, Sham, can you tell me, like, how did that make you feel? Like someone, a filmmaker of Spike Lee's caliber, was aware of you, knew of you, wanted to adapt this film after you, and I thought it was poignant where you talked about how your father went to prison and Denzel Washington's character was just getting out of prison. I mean, it's just so amazing. But how did that make you feel just knowing that you were being, you were inspiring people in film?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Back then, it was big, but it wasn't as big it would be now, right? Because at then you don't know. You don't know who you inspire. You don't know none of these. You don't know people in California like you. You don't know, and that's why, like, growing up in the era that we grew up in, it was more solid.
Yeah.
Because the people that cared about you and the people that liked you, you really knew they liked you.
Yeah.
It wasn't about a 15-minute clip on Instagram or stuff like that. So they had to know you to like you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Whereas somebody now could know of you or a perception of you. And to answer your question, the thing with Spike Lee, it was like, it was one of those things where you knew how big Spike was, but you didn't know how big Spike was.
Well, I understand.
Right?
Yeah.
So you just knew he was making films, and when you grow up, you're like, man, people from my neighborhood don't make films, right? And you're like, you know, like that show, like, nah, it don't work like that. You know, it doesn't work like that at all. Like, this man got to be lucky because he's doing this, he's doing that. And for me to be in that place, you know about it 20 years later. Like, it's more news now than it was then, right?
Yeah.
So, like, now when people be like, man, I didn't know Spike was like you and stuff, this and that. Like, back then it was just like, okay, he wanted to use you, but he didn't use your name. He said, so he flipped it and it was like this. So it was like, oh, okay, cool. But now, because of the life that the film took on, you know, it's just like when you growing up, you would never know at that age that Sanaa Lathan will be every young basketball player's heartthrob later on because of, you know,
loving basketball.
Right?
No
So,
doubt.
like, everybody's like, you know, and then that persona took her her career to the next level because back in the days, even those movies made people who they are even now. 20 years later. So, like, if you see like Nia Long or Denzel or these people, you're like, man, this is like these people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even now in their 40s or 50, you're like, oh man, you remember the place where you were at when you first watched a movie or something like that. You know, so that was the great thing about then. Whereas now it's a little different because everything is so quick.
I know.
So you don't live in it as much.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? You don't live in it as much. Like, for people to be, I couldn't even tell you now who's like a heartthrob or male or female for like the next 20 years.
Yeah.
I can.
You know
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. So like,
shout out to Michael.
but
I feel
that's the thing. But even like with Mike, right? in knowing Mike. Like even like with Mike, it's like, yeah, you would be like, man, he's a great actor.
Mm-hmm.
But the impact with like Nia Long, Denzel, all those people back then is beyond acting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're telling the truth.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Totally.
And like Mike is like the highest of the highest, right?
Yes.
But 40 years from now,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the way people look at Nia Long, Sanaa Lathan, and these people is totally different, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like you can have these great rappers now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. But then you look at Tupac.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah.
So 60 years from now, Tupac will still be
Facts.
I agree.
that person
Mhm.
from our kids
Yes.
growing up, and they see him and they ever watch the movie or they just see him and they be like,
Yep.
wow.
Yeah.
Yep. You right.
You
You know
right.
what I'm
Because
saying?
What they
Juice
did then
still
was
got me
longevity.
shook.
Yeah, so that's like a whole different.
Mhm.
So it's just like y'all said, like y'all love Michael Jordan, right?
Mhm.
So when you seen The Last Dance,
Oh my
right?
God.
Everything he did in The
Sir.
Last Dance, right,
Yes.
are things you see now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the things you see now still not better than those things.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's the thing, because you can watch, like I could see like a basketball game with like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and these
Mhm.
people, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can see why they was good. That's cool.
Yeah.
But okay, I seen that, right? But when you watch The Last Dance
Come on.
and Jordan do stuff, you like,
Mm.
I still don't see that.
Come on.
So that's the thing where I say as like
Mm-hmm.
Tupac, like even though it was so young when he passed away, it's
Yeah.
like when you see him,
Yep.
Mhm.
you like, man, I still don't see someone that capture all that.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So that's the difference between
Almost
the
like you
stuff
had
now.
to be there moment.
Ooh.
So even like somebody like Myra, like Iverson, like right,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
So it's like
AI.
when you saw it, you just was like,
Oh my God.
Mhm.
okay, this is different.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what era it's in,
Yes.
Mhm.
you're like, no, this
Mhm.
person, if you put him in any era,
Mm-hmm.
he would be Tupac,
Mhm.
and this person would be Denzel.
Yeah.
And Nia Long would
Michael
be Nia
Jackson.
Long. Michael Jackson,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Michael gone for what over a decade now.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And it's still kids right now that's bopping out or discovering Thriller for the first time.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Absolutely. So it's like if you watch Muhammad Ali, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's
yes.
just like when you see certain people, you're just like, okay.
That's a good analogy.
Mhm.
You're like
Mhm.
you're like, no matter what people are doing now,
Mhm.
that's cool. And they're making way more money. They doing all that.
Mhm.
But that person there will forever be.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like when you say people say Muhammad Ali is the greatest fight ever, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's so many people that lost less fights than him,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
but you still will say
Mhm.
he's the greatest
He is.
because of everything that you've seen
Yes.
transpire, right?
Yes. And
So-
he declared it. I
Yeah.
am the greatest.
So that's my point when I say, like, you know, like I said, Mike B's a great actor, great this, good that.
Mhm.
But it's still, you would say, like, when you see it, you would be like, man, you like when you see Tupac on the screen, you're like,
Mhm.
no,
Yep.
this is what it is.
Mhm.
You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So it's just like it's like you know, like Tupac was supposed to do Baby Boy, right?
Mm.
Did not
Right.
know that. Mhm.
Yeah. So it's like, but then when you see the way it went,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you can't see it without Tyrese.
I can't.
Correct.
You're absolutely right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. It's just certain things you see and you
Yep.
like, I don't feel we get that feeling no more
You right.
when we watch stuff.
Because
Mhm.
even just speaking about Tupac, Juice to this day
Exactly.
Bishop.
got me shook. No
Had
one.
me shook.
He played the shit out of that role.
Period.
I'm like, that's unforgettable. And I
Right.
think they're trying to remake it.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm like, whoever's going to take on that role, I cannot unsee Tupac.
You
Yeah.
cannot.
Okay.
So it's like when they say they're going to make Love and Basketball too, right?
Oh, wow.
So it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what we trying to.
Where
Yay.
we going here?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Because it's already good.
Yeah,
It's
because
great.
I can't see someone at that point like,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and if you, and even if you say you never watched the first one, right, and you saw the second one,
Mhm.
the minute you watch the first one, you
Mhm.
would be like, it would
Mhm.
take away from the second one.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I seen an interview with James Caan, and he was talking about The Godfather.
Mhm.
He talked about 1 and 2 and just how they had these amazing moments.
Beautiful.
And then he was talking about, oh, you know what? What was it, James Caan? it was a consigliere, Tom, Tom Hagen's character. And he was like, the third one, it was all about the money.
Yeah.
He was like, that was it. I wasn't in it because the money wasn't whatever, but it didn't need to be done.
Yeah,
okay.
But you could see
the
drop off.
Yes.
You can see the...
It was like, they were so in the zone on that film. It was things that was just, the cat that Marlon Brando had was a cat on the Paramount set. It was just a cat he picked up and was like, I got to put this cat in this scene. It worked. Last question. Song that always gets you hyped before a big game or event.
All eyes on me, always.
I love it. All eyes on me.
Yeah.
All right, that's the song.
That's it. Definitely.
Sham, Brother Shammgod, thank you so much for sharing your time, your wisdom, and your energy. There was so many keys in this episode.
Yes.
I cannot even name them all. This is on repeat for folks that are listening. The Word of God is out now. Go grab a copy and experience the story firsthand for yourself. Turn down your phone, read this book. It is a great read. I promise you. You can follow Sham at God Shammgod 12 on the socials. And I want to thank our listeners. Thank you for joining another episode of It Doesn't Work That Way podcast. If you enjoyed this conversation, and I know you did because it was good. I enjoyed it.
Assume that people did. It's okay good. If they don't.
It's good.
Okay.
Subscribe and leave a review. And if you don't like it, leave the comment wherever you listen to podcasts. Until next time, remember, kindness is currency.
Come on.
And spend it.
In this day and age, liberally.
Go on there and make that kindness rain.
Yes.
Do what you got to do because we need it in this day and age. All right. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.